learned from it. I went on to work on TV again for a little bit to get my shit together.
And you couldn't have brought that same experience to David So Comedy,
well,
huh?
I had to go back into... I hadn't done TV and like shit like that in so long. That's why I started getting
You were on
complacent.
my film set, and you worked perfectly fine.
That...
And you had to babysit me.
I lived in this room because he never can be on time, and it's to ensure that he would be on set on time.
And I also paid her, so damn fucking straight you did. It was great. Because the film didn't fucking pay you.
No. It was very tiring.
Yeah. Good times, though.
I mean, you punched a wall.
Oh, so okay. Okay, let's give a little context here. So, number one, you know, I make a lot of jokes like number one, like I'm a bitch, which I am. I'm a huge bitch. However, when I was younger, I used to have a very bad temper. Not so much anymore. Not as bad as it used to be.
Unless triggered to the point where like it's like
You really have to treat me like shit to get me mad. Like most of the time, I say 99% of the time, I can joke about something, laugh about it, turn it into a funny story, rant about it later, and I'm pretty damn good. But we won't name the person who pissed me off on set, but somebody pissed me off on set really, really fucking bad. And mind you, it was to a point of, it was a level of disrespect that I don't think anybody should be spoken to that way.
it was a waste of your time.
It was a waste of my time.
It was a buildup of like not considering your time.
Not considering my time, and you know, partially because it's my film too, so it didn't really make sense. And you know, because I'm not passive, but I try to be understanding about other people's situation. But it got to a point where, you know, I'm looking over at the schedule and I'm like, no, this is actually done really poorly. And so, mind you, I'm doing my channel. I'm doing I started up a couple of businesses at that point, and I'm doing the film at the same time. And so literally the amount of time that I was sleeping was very, very fucking minimal. And the majority of the sleep that I got was actually on set when I was taking naps. So it got to a point where I was showing up on set like 5 to 6 times, and I just wasn't doing anything. And during that time, I could be working on my other businesses. And they didn't need me on set, and they knew it, but they just would never tell me.
Well, it was also
just in case they're like, well, something switches up.
the thing is, we were getting so ahead of schedule. They started adding things, and it made my job difficult as well because it wasn't just you. We had so many other elements of the film that I would have to call them last minute. Hey, can you actually come in today?
Yeah.
And that's a little not how it runs normally. And so that's kind of the whole situation was not. It was
just very stressful. You know, it was a super low budget film, and once again, I'm not talking about these gripes as if, you know, somebody should feel sorry for us. We knew what we were in for, but there were definitely certain things that just wasn't being considered just because there's just a lot of situations. And basically somebody said something to me on set that really just got me to a point where, number one, I don't like being like that. I don't like getting angry, like for real. And so I got fucking mad, and I literally just saw red. I grabbed this fucking chair, and I was thinking about grabbing this chair and fucking smashing it over this fool's head, but instead
you punched the chair first.
Yeah.
But nobody has seen you that angry but me. And so I just sat there. Everyone was freaked out. I was like, you need to let him let it out.
Or somebody's going to get punched. So you just got to let me get angry. So I literally just broke this fucking chair, smashed this table, walked over to a fucking wall, and then I just started pounding my fist into it until I couldn't feel my fist anymore.
But you were about to punch that fence, but then I saw you register it wasn't ours. So then you were like, I'm going to punch a fucking brick wall.
That's how considerate I am. Even when I'm angry, there was like this dude's fence at his house, and I was about to punch it, but I'm like, this is not my house, so I hit the wall instead.
I saw the thought process happen as well. And then we had someone try to go up to him, and I literally stopped him. I said, you need to stay away from him or he will kill you. Like, just let him express everything, and then he'll sit down and be calm.
Yeah, so essentially what happened was at that point, like the person that made me upset was like, the reason why it kind of tipped me over was because that person was being very disrespectful towards me. And he just goes, well, that's fucking show business. And then I was like, what'd you just say to me, bro? You know, and it was, I don't like being demeaned, you know, like it was the last thing I fucking needed, especially on my own set.
It was also your one day off. Like, we shot 6 days a week, and we only had 1 day off technically, and that was like one of your only days off
for me to sleep, just sleep. Mm-hmm. And mind you, I'm in every part of the film.
Yeah,
you know.
And then so like when they were like, oh, can you call? And I had already been on set, and it was a last minute thing, and they were like, can you call David and tell him to be on set? And I remember saying, are you guys sure you're gonna use him? This is not okay. You've already called him like 4 different times the other day, like last week, like. He's going to be pissed. And they're like, no, we're going to use him, blah, blah, blah. And then the timing. He just ended up sitting there for like 7 hours.
Doing absolutely fucking nothing. And, for most sets too, like that'll happen, but you're getting paid for it, And I know this is my film and stuff, but at the same time, they damn well knew they didn't need me.
Well, it was at a point where we were exhausted.
Yeah.
It was a lot happening, and
no sleeping for a fucking month is kind of tiring, And then it just got really bad. And, like I don't think I handled the situation maybe as well as I would if I was well rested. But I basically took the dude aside and I said, you need to apologize. And if you ever talk to me like that again, I'm just gonna fuck you up. Or we could just handle it. And like does that sound like a David So thing? Like I would never say that to somebody, So it was just like this very weird situation. I didn't really like it, but it is what it is. David So's a nice guy.
Till you piss him off.
Which is very hard to do. It's very, very hard to do. And I'm not saying that when this happens, I'm gonna beat everybody up. There's like an 80% chance I'm gonna get my ass kicked. However, I'm willing to take that fucking risk.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that one was I was laughing when that whole thing happened because like these guys didn't understand. I was like, you guys are gonna piss him off.
Well, they just kept poking me, and it's like, this is not.
And then when it finally happened, everyone was so scared. I was laughing because I'm like, he's about to swell up and he's gonna fucking be so sorry. He just.
But look how everybody was so nice after, and
they feared you.
No, and they were better at scheduling everybody else's shit too. Because after that, I had a conversation.
No, but you weren't the only person that complained about it.
Yeah.
So.
But it shouldn't have gotten to the point where I have to flip out and tell people like, yo, fucking do this shit right. And then now they're scheduling it better. It's like, yo, come on.
Yeah. But you live and you learn, I guess.
Is what it is. Well, what did you learn today?
I learned that I make bad choices and I need to reevaluate how I go about it.
Good.
What'd you learn today?
I learned that you're still stupid.
And yet here I am.
You piece of shit.
No.
Anyways, guys.